session of All Women Hackers, led by the marvelous Miss Keenan Skelly, the CEO of Shadowbyte. Hey there.
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
this is
hey.
fabulous. You guys are going to spice it up, right? Get us all
Oh
off our
my
chairs,
gosh.
and we're just super excited. Um, Thank you, everybody, for being here. And with that, Keenan, it is all yours, but you do have to give it back in about 40 minutes.
I don't know about that. I mean, we were talking about this. I think we could just like keep going the whole time. We're gonna be good.
You
Thank
know, I
you,
was
Jess.
thinking about
And
that. Next year, it might be we go all 24 hours. It could be crazy. I think I've just been
oh my
fired by my
God,
team. But, besides that, no,
the,
seriously, all
the
yours.
commentary would be invaluable, right? Thank you, Jess. Thank you for everything that you guys do with Wicked Six. I've been a big fan for the last couple of years, and I think this is honestly one of the coolest things that I ever get to participate in. Is getting a bunch of people together who absolutely love games, and love games, and love cybersecurity, and work together to make magic happen in the gamified world. Anybody who knows me for 5 minutes knows that I am all about gamification. So, quick intro for me before we get to the badasses who are actually here, who do this job every day and are so amazing. Keenan Skelly, I'm the CEO of Shadowbyte. I'm also on the board for Women's Society of Cyberjutsu. I'm on the board for Wicked Six. I'm on the board for Raices. And getting people into cyber is my thing. It's what I do. Gamification is what I do. Gamification is the future. It's going to change everything. If there's somebody that's here right now that did not like to play Monopoly, no. You didn't like to play euchre with your friends in high school? Nope. We as human beings love gamification. We love to have the opportunity to speak out and compete against each other. But the great thing about how Jess and the entire Wicked Six team have set this up is that it's not necessarily about competing with other people. It's about competing with yourself and continuing to grow the knowledge that you have in cybersecurity and the knowledge that you're looking to learn. And there is no greater place in the world than this magnificent organization of women, the Women's Society of Cyberjutsu, and all of the amazing supporters that are here, who are trying every day to get diversity really pushed forward in cybersecurity. So before we go any further, I want to shout out to literally all of these female hackers who, oh my God, I can't even believe that I got all of them. Like, I can't even believe that they all agreed to do this, because the projects they're doing, the technical brilliance that they have amongst them is positively insane. So I'm going to start with Nicole, and I'm going to ask Nicole to tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to go around the room and just talk about the badass shit that these guys do every day.
Yes. Excuse me. Hi. I'm super happy to be here. So thank you so much for the humble invite. I am Nicole Hoffman. As she said, I'm an intelligence analyst at a digital risk protection firm called GroupSense. And I am also the CEO and founder of my own publishing company. I just published my first children's book. It's called the Cyber Threat Intelligence, or I forgot the name of my own book. That's how excited I am. It's called the Mighty Threat Intelligence Warrior. And it is basically a book that I thought could fill a gap in the STEM education field, because I feel like there's a lot of information on robotics and coding and not a whole lot about cybersecurity and threat intelligence. And so it's been a huge project of mine to bring not only new people into cyber, but kids into cyber. I'm also the other project I have going on. I created my own analytic framework. It's called the Cognitive Stairways of Analysis. And I've been getting help from different members of
I'm going to pause her for a second, because of course she did. Because she was like, no, this isn't working, and I'm going to build my own, and you guys are going to follow it because you're stupid. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Definitely wasn't what I said. I would never call anyone stupid, but for me, it helps me, and I hope it could help someone else. I know it's helped at least one person, so I think that makes it worth it. But yeah, hopefully getting more members of the InfoSec community involved and build more stairways and processes to help for, future people in cyber coming in.
That's so amazing. And I'm gonna force her to talk more about her book later, because it's so cool and it's such a great idea. And this is what it's all about when you are in cybersecurity, no matter what. And we just happen to be women, and women doing amazing things. So I'm going to go to Lola next. Tell the crowd a little bit about yourself, and we'll go from there.
So I'm Lola. I'm a cybersecurity engineer for INE, which is a training platform for cybersecurity, cloud, IT, data analysis, and others. I'm currently based in Tokyo, Japan. So it's like very early. It's very early in the morning here.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit jealous. I've never been to Tokyo. That sounds amazing.
Oh no,
Anyway.
I want to move as soon as possible. So don't be jealous, please. I'm jealous of everyone who doesn't live here.
Okay.
So yeah, so I keep very busy with my job, like always trying to recycle myself. Besides being a professional, I'm an eternal student. So I'm, on my free time, I'm always keeping up with everything in order to not do my job better, but also for my own career growth, professional growth. That's about it. When I can, I volunteer at conferences. I like being active in the community. I can't handle social media very much, but I try to always be active on Twitter, LinkedIn.
Okay, that's super fair, because InfoSec Twitter is its own beast. It's like its own monster. You have to prepare for that. So all of you women out there who are coming into cyber or transferring from something else, you just be prepared that it's a thing. It's its own beast, and you just have to.
Oh yes,
just go with it.
Oh, it's
Thank
awesome.
you so much,
it's
Lola.
super helpful. It's super helpful.
Yes,
I mean, sometimes
yes.
I learn that AWS is down by Twitter.
Oh my gosh, yeah, totally.
I'm here trying to log in my infrastructure. Oh, okay, I know who knows. Twitter. Oh, it comes like right away. AWS down. Okay, AWS is down.
And that that's a great point and super true. So for everybody who's trying to get into InfoSec, trying to get into cybersecurity, I highly recommend you follow InfoSec Twitter. Not just because there's a lot of great people out there who are willing to help you and willing to like kind of push you in one way or the other and challenge you, but also because we share information constantly via Twitter. Now, be warned, sometimes that information is not correct. So it helps you to start learning how to apply judgment to the things that come out and sometimes are shared broadly that aren't necessarily reality, but it also gives you a great look into some amazing people like Lola
or not be
Nicole.
scared or not be scared by some drama that sometimes happens in there.
Yes, totally. All right, Tennisha, I want to do her bio for her, because I know she's going to leave out so many things that are amazing, but she is such a rock star. So if you forget something, I'm going to poke you, but go ahead.
All right, I've been told that I can, stunt on everybody. So my name is Tennisha Martin. I am the executive director for BlackGirlsHack. We're a nonprofit that's set up to, help increase diversity in cybersecurity and provide training in ethical hacking. Also trying to create pipelines to employment. So I am also trying to find all of the jobs for all of the squad. So I have to throw that out there before I talk about myself. I am an educated computer engineer. I've got 5 master's degrees in computer science, digital forensics, business, a whole lot of things. I'm also a penetration tester that does web app, network penetration, and mobile penetration testing. And I am the leader for all things world domination. So if you want to ever talk about world domination, please come see me. So I mentioned that I'm trying to create pipelines for employment for the squad. So I'm also the CEO of BGH Security, and we have hired 7 people in cybersecurity this year so far. So that's absolutely dope. And I am a professor for cybersecurity and computer science at Voorhees College, which is in South Carolina. So shout out to all the HBCU students. And I think that that's it.
All right, there's a lot more in there, but I also just want to say I feel super inadequate. Like, oh, I've got 5 master's degrees and I'm changed the world and I have my own 501c3 and you are seriously a rock star. I'm so glad you get to join us today. Thank you so much. But I'm still going to drill you later on cool stuff. And oh my God, Sherrod, please. I'm fangirling right now because I love her and I'm trying not to fangirl. I'm going to keep it together though, please. I think you might be on mute.
I'm muted, the worst faux pas you can make on a Zoom. That is so nice of you to say, Keenan. It's incredible to be in this panel with such incredible women. My name is Sherrod DeGrippo. I'm the VP of Threat Research at Proofpoint. So I run our threat research capabilities for network, cloud, and email. I've been in security about 17 years. A fun fact about me is that I'm the 2022 Cybersecurity Woman of the Year, which I learned about that a couple of weeks ago, which was a nice surprise. It's a strange world out there. But yeah, I've been in security for about 17 years and I started with network and that's where my heart always lies is watching traffic on the wire. That's really what I like to do.
Oh my gosh. So, one of the things I really wanted to talk about during this women's hacker panel is, what it means to be a hacker. I know I have my own feelings about what it means to be a hacker. And as a former EOD tech or somebody who diffuses bombs, I feel like I'm the ultimate hacker. In my mind, I'm the ultimate hacker, right? Like trying to solve really complex problems outside the box with duct tape and some MacGyver skills, right? And I learned that when I was in the military, but then I came into technology and I realized that those skills are exactly the same. They're just applied a little bit differently and there's no explosives, right? So I love it when the community comes together and starts to talk about all of the different things that, they believe fit into that hacker category, whether it's a security researcher or a pen tester or somebody who tries to figure out the best ways to go about handling them. So my curiosity here is I'm presented with problems every single day. Something you're going to go, no, I don't know. That sounds crazy, but we're going to do it anyway. So I want to know from you guys who come from a different, background, every single.
Oh, okay. I feel that it is a bit of a charged word. It certainly has a lot of different connotations for a lot of different people. And it's sort of around is that it's about creative problem solving, whatever that may be in the particular moment. You're thinking outside of the standard, you're going outside the mainstream, you're trying to get away from the things that have been tried before, which is part of the reason that I really love diversity in security, is because in order to get to the next evolution of where we're going, we can't keep doing the same things that we've done. And that's what that creative problem solving is about. Stop doing the same things that we've always done because it got us here, but it's not going to get us to the next place. So that's kind of how I see it.
Yes, and yes, and yes. And I agree with that 100%. Let's change the paradigm. Lola, what do you think about that?
How can I compete with this amazing answer? She said it all. Well, to me, hacker is simply someone who is a very curious person, who, like both of you have said already, is a person who likes thinking outside of the box, is not restricted by conventions, or is a person who is content with, oh, we always have been doing it like this, so let's continue doing it like this. No, you are able to come up with creative solutions. And someone who is just not complacent, who always likes to recycle themselves. I think it comes with being a little bit ambitious too. You're not complacent. It comes with being curious too, and you're not content like repeating always the same thing. You are always trying to research. Yeah, that's what I think.
Now, since I have the wild privilege of knowing their answers in advance,
Did we lose Keenan
Whatever-
to the airport
Are we
lounge?
still here?
Can you
I
guys
think-
hear me?
I think Keenan, you dropped out
We
for a
can't
second, but
hear
it
you.
seems like you're back.
We can hear you.
Hi.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
what'd you
now-
miss?
You
Said
said
you had
since
to-
I know their answers in advance, and I was
Oh,
dying
yes.
to hear what you say after that. So what comes after that?
Yes, I do know the answers in advance. And I think that, Lola, what you said transitions very well into Nicole's thoughts about whether this is a lifestyle or, you know, a technology kind of thing. So Nicole, I'm going to go ahead and ask on you to answer that question next.
Yes. So this is one of those questions where I'm almost nervous to answer because I know, like what Sherrod said, is some people are very, that term is very near and dear to their heart. And so for me, it is both a like technical skill, and I also think that it is like a lifestyle of people who, you know, they think outside the box, but they also think like laterally. They think, you know, how can I take other experiences to solve this? And it could be anything from, you know, for me, it could be a computer, it could be a computer program, a network. I even consider, you know, like social engineers to be people hackers, you know, or, you know, someone who's trying to, you know, cure cancer, you know, they could be cancer hackers. There's so many different terms. And I think it goes back to like people who are seeking knowledge and who are just naturally curious.
I totally agree with that. And I often refer to myself as a baking hacker because I don't want to spend hours baking like women did 100 years ago. I want to bake some stuff that's going to be baked in like 35 minutes or less. So I'm going to hack the crap out of that. That's just me personally. So Tennisha, I saved you for last because I feel like the diversity of your background is so wild that you have seen not only, you know, teaching and adjudicating other hackers, you've also, you know, created organizations where you're trying to build the next generation of people. What do you feel it is for you? What does a hacker mean to you? And then what does it mean for the next generation of folks that are coming up? And do they see it the same way that we do? I don't know.
I don't think that they view it the same way that we do. So for me, you know, it's a commitment as much as it is a lifestyle. When we talk about hacking, we're talking about, you know, systems that have been designed the same way for many years. We've talking about web applications that have been designed the same, you know, year after year. And the standard answer we get, you know, is that it's works as designed, right? And I think that for hacking and for hackers, we're people who think outside of what people expect for systems to do. We think outside of what is expected and what is anticipated. And I think that, you know, that thought process of approaching, you know, from a problem solving perspective, of thinking outside of what people think that should be done. I think that that's what makes us unique, both as, you know, hackers and then also as, you know, just people that are operating in this space. You know, when we talk about hacking, we're talking about that we've committed to learning and practicing and upskilling and, you know, researching everything that's necessary to be good at our craft. It's not like we have one of those things, you know, where, you know, the numbers always stay the same and you don't have to worry about things evolving, right? There's new math now, so I can't even say the math's always been the same, but you know, it's different, I think, for people who are in our craft. And I think that it also, you know, from a strategic thinking perspective, it's like, you know, hey, what are different ways that people can think about things as far as use cases, as far as, you know, the ways that things can be used or you know, changed. So I think that the next generation, they have a different perspective. They grew up on computers. They grew up, you know, on iPhones. I tell people all the time that, you know, I did my college applications on a typewriter. You know, the first time I saw a computer was in college. So I'm probably a lot older than some folks on here. But I think that, you know, we have the ability to streamline the mistake-making process and the education process, you know, as we go along. I forget who it was earlier who said that, you know, education is important. And that's one of the things, the reason why I do some of the things that I do is because I believe that it's important that we tie cybersecurity into, you know, degrees about biomedicine or degrees about chemistry or any of the things, because you really can't have a conversation about any industry or any sector without talking about computer security or information security. So, it's typically cybersecurity is a different thing altogether, but I feel like we shouldn't have a conversation about computer science without talking about cybersecurity. So it's like changing the way that, people are taught, changing the way that people learn, and the way that, we're teaching future education so that they can be, much more effective and not have to make a lot of the same mistakes, that we made along the way.
Absolutely. I love everything about that, what you just said. Education is so critical, but at the same time, the diversity of education is also critical. I talk about this in threat intelligence and threat operations and in artificial intelligence, that when you have the same group of people making the same decisions over and over again, you're not getting a product, you're not getting an AI, you're not getting anything that is diverse. You're getting something that is a reflection of your innate biases. So whether that means you're a group of 8th grade girls in South Africa who build something together, or you're a group of middle-aged 40-ish white guys in Germany who build something, both of those have wild biases in different directions just based on who they are, on things that they don't even know about themselves, right? So when it comes to diversity and we talk about how we're going to train the next generation, how we're going to get the next generation of people involved, it absolutely has to be a diverse group of folks. It has to be people coming from things from a totally different idea, from a totally different neurodivergent idea. I know for myself, I'm ADHD, and holy cats, that's like, raise your hands if you want. Okay. Yeah, like this is what we do. We already are very complicated individuals who want to see things and how they work and pick them apart and understand them and then apply something magical to it so that we can change the world. But at the same time, those very desires are sometimes inhibiting. And that's absolutely true for a lot of minority populations, whether you're a woman, whether you're from a diverse background, if you're African American, if you're, Chinese, if you're whatever it is, wherever it is that you come from, you have your own perception and your own idea about everything, even if you don't realize it. So it's so important for us to work together and have, conferences like this and events like this, where we can talk about how our situations are slightly different, but absolutely kind of contribute to the bigger space. So on that note, every single one of you is technologically amazing. Okay. Seriously, my technological skills, unless we're talking about bombs, is totally nowhere near where you guys are.
I don't think you should downplay that so much. I think the bombs are technical. That's hardware hacking.
They're technical, but it's different technical. So let's go. I'm going to go, Tennisha, back to you. What are some of the challenges that you've faced really getting into cybersecurity? And from a technological perspective, like I said, everybody here is super smart and technical and really great at what you do, but we all experience challenges very differently. So what are some of the challenges that you faced and maybe overcame and, helped others with?
So for me, when I'm largely self-taught when it comes to my ethical hacking skills. I learned on things like Try Hack Me and Over the Wire and things of that nature, Hack the Box. And for me, you get in the process of, a repetitive process. Like I needed to do an Nmap scan. I need to do, a DERB. I need to do, all of the things that we get used to using. But I think in the wild, there are a lot of different scenarios where maybe you can't use an Nmap scan. Maybe you can't use, a web application scanner for whatever reason based on the actual environment that you're testing in. So I think for me, it's, figuring out the wide variety of other tools that are out there that maybe are not already blocked by a firewall, that are not, disallowed by an organization. And for me, it's not just like, hey, can I repeat the same things over and over again? It's can I adapt and evolve to what is an ever-changing landscape, right? So, and we have people out here, amazing security researchers who are developing new tools, who are developing new way to do things. A lot of the things that we see are in some ways like point and click, based on people's like, hey, I want to make my life easier and I'm going to share this in an open source way to other people. And I think that, by knowing the other tools that are out there and being able to, basically adapt to, I guess, like I said, the changing landscape. I think that's what's important for me in, ever-changing environments and conditions, and what are the rules of engagement, right? Because if you can only do it using InMap and then doing this and then doing this, then you're going to have a problem when you can't use those tools. You're going to be lost. So I think it's important that you know what else is out there and know what other research is being done in the space. That's why I think that it's so amazing that everybody in here is talking about what it is that they're doing. Even the things that are not necessarily tangentially related to what it is that we do, it's still amazing because people are very diverse. And, we have to overcome a lot just to be able to exist. So I'm very, very, excited to see, what other people say, about overcoming technological challenges.
I love that so much. I'm just coming from another conference where Jen Easterly, who's my super girl crush right now, made an opening keynote remark section, and she was really talking about getting to know all the tools, whatever tools you can learn, try to learn them. And she was talking a little bit about the page on CISA where they've identified tools that are free for everybody to use. And I think that's so important because you're absolutely right, Tennisha. When you come into an incident, when you come into a pen test, when you come into responding to chaos that we've all been experiencing for the last 2 years, pretty much nonstop, you're not always going to get to play with the toys that you want to play with. What's more important is that you can adapt and overcome and realize what part of those tools is going to be important for you and how to deploy that going forward. So as a super expert in the security research space, Sherrod, I'm dying to know, some of the things that you've experienced in your technical advancement and how you've been kind of moving forward your whole life, and things that maybe were difficult, but that you totally overcame and that maybe everybody else can too.
I think one of the things that really made an impression on me and shaped so much of my reality is that I started college in 1996. There was no cybersecurity degree program. Are you joking with me? People ask me so frequently, so did you go to school for cybersecurity? No, there was no school for cybersecurity in 1996. There was barely computer science programs. Most people didn't have internet at their homes. In fact, I've looked it up and 17% of the American population had internet in 1996. So no, I majored in fine art. And I love my fine art education. I value it deeply, but that also meant that my technical skills came from a motivation and a desire to have what I wanted, which was a website or IRC connectivity or to share the cable internet with my roommate. And there are no off-the-shelf hubs and switches, and buying a Cisco is thousands of dollars. So you get an old PC and you put OpenBSD on it because that's the only, you get 2 network cards, you cut your hand open because the case is open and there's sharp PCM CIA cards inside there, and you shove your 2 network cards in so you can have 2 interfaces. And I think that, the motivation to communicate the way I want, to present myself, to express myself is why I overcame the technical challenges that I had. Was I want a website. I want to share internet access. I want to talk to people. I want to connect in these certain ways. And the only way to do it was to learn how to set up a freaking Apache server in my house and use DYN DNS. People listening to this are probably too young to remember. You didn't used to get an IP address. You had to set up DYN DNS to connect your URL or connect your domain to your house. And you weren't allowed to have a website because port 80 was blocked. So you're colon 8080 off everything off a different port. So I think the point really is I value chasing after learning because it's something that you need to know and need to do, not because you think, well, this is a checkbox that I need for my job. And don't treat it like a utility, treat it like a joy, treat it like a pathway to express yourself. And I think you'll learn a lot more because it's something that you're really pursuing for your own interests.
I could not agree more. And And something that I tell everybody that I know, and every young woman who's trying to get in, and every 50-year-old woman who's trying to transition, is to be hungry. Be hungry for knowledge, be curious, want to know more, because that is going to get you so much further in your life than anything else. If you're just curious about how something works, and it's not somebody telling you, well, you have to learn this, you have to learn that, do it. Oh my God, do it and enjoy it and love it. Part of the reason that I love games and gamification for cyber is because I play games and I hack games and I try to make games work to my advantage as my own little hack. And because of that, I enjoy it so much. I love everything about it and I want to know more all the time. It's just, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to love your job, whatever that is, and want to know more about it? Lola, what do you think?
I was mute too. Well, I don't know what else to add after two amazing ladies have. I'm like, when it's my turn, what should I say? I think my biggest struggle is not even because same as Tennisha, I think most of whatever technical skills I have achieved, they were mostly self-taught, like over many platforms. But I think my biggest struggle is not even my technical skills or my soft skills, which I think all of you know that is so important, as us as professionals, not besides technical, having soft skills too, like communication skills. And I'm still a work in progress, so that will be my biggest struggle, since we are disclosing neurodivergence. I'm autistic, so to me, it's one of my traits to, like, when I like something, I really obsess about it, and I want to know everything about it, and I don't see that time pass. I'm not hungry. I don't want to go to the bathroom. And it's hard, because I know that maybe I should balance. Maybe I am in an organization with coworkers, I'm very lucky.
That's an entirely different talk that we're going to have later about work-life balance and making sure you're good to go.
But yes, there are so many things. We are in such a vast field, so many things to learn. I think a lifetime wouldn't be enough. So many fun things, interesting things that we want to get into, we want to learn further. And I don't know, I think everyone is different and everyone has a different personality. I'm just talking about my own. It's very hard to put a limit. For example, I want to learn that, then okay, I will start, but I don't know how to stop.
I feel seen.
Yeah, I think everybody here is going yes and yes and yes. We want to know more, right? We find something that's intriguing and we go down the rabbit hole and try to figure everything out, because that's just who we are. That's the hacker, right? That's the hacker in all of us.
And at the same time that I love structure, also because of my neurotype, I am a person who I will do this, and after I will do this. So I create structures inside my head that's what I will do. But then I think I know you want to talk about that later, and I'm putting it now in the conversation.
No, please. You're not. Please, go ahead.
I have a job. I have responsibilities. I have tasks. I work with different teams inside my organization. It's the sales teams, the IT team, the devs, marketing, so many. And here I am because I just found something very interesting that I think is going to help my job. Forget it. I will obsess with it, and I have my structure, and I won't stop. Even if I am 25 hours in front of the computer, which has happened. I was not hungry. I was not sleepy. I didn't even go to the bathroom. That's how bad it is. So
you went down the rabbit hole, but you know what? You probably learned.
I finished the whole thing.
Yeah.
I finished. Oh yes, I finished the whole thing. Okay, I'm like, yes. Okay, next. Then I go to our communication platform, and there is this wall of messages waiting for me to do, and I'm like, I have been a bad girl. I have to go back to reality here.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
everything
it's-
about that. And I see everybody else on the panel too, like, oh my God, yes. Like this is a daily thing that we go through, right? And it's also, but it's that diversity, it's that, that way of thinking that makes us different than everybody else, and that provides value, that provides a different perspective, that provides a change making way forward that some people just don't think of. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nicole, I saved you
Thank
for
you.
last because I'm super curious about kind of technologically how you got to where you are and challenges that you face, but also as she mentioned before, she just started a publishing company, and she just wrote a book about the cyber threat hunters, and I've already ordered it and I'm waiting for it to come in impatiently. And I'm so curious, the lessons that you've learned from a technological perspective, and how you've actually grown in the technology itself. How has that kind of shaped what you wanted to do with the book?
Yeah, definitely. Funny enough, listening to everyone else's stories about, going to college back in the 90s, I just graduated college last year in a cybersecurity program. And I feel like it was still new, like it was a new program. And I was one of the first students in the program. So I got a lot of textbook knowledge, but I didn't get a lot of like hands-on like knowledge.
Yep.
My son might join us.
Oh, that's okay. Come on over.
And so I learned quickly that having your own home lab is just needed, because I was like learning all this high level stuff, but I wasn't actually being able to like do it or know what it looks like. So I just looked at how other people are doing their home labs. I got like VirtualBox, and when I got my first internship in cybersecurity, I just started watching like conference talks and seeing like what are other people doing. And I've always been in the startup world. I haven't worked with a lot of what I call like fancy paid tools until my current role, which was very exciting. And so I've had to use a lot of like open source tools. I've had a lot of time yelling at my keyboard, trying to figure out why I can't git clone this repository for this open source program. I am not an engineer, but it worked out in the end, because all of the things that I was doing kind of made me a better analyst. And a lot of times I didn't even know what I was doing. Like I was learning, like for instance, like Hack the Box, I got in, I don't know how. There was a burp suite situation happening. I couldn't explain it, but I got in and I and I did it. The other thing is not having like, Splunk or SIMS or SOARs. When I was first starting out, I was starting out in like threat hunting and threat emulation and things like that. I got really familiar with like Windows IDs and parent processes and what's normal, what's not normal, and Sysmon and things like that. And it wasn't until I started watching more like SANS talks, I was like, oh, this is important. Like other people did this. This is useful, which was exciting. So it was kind of backwards. I just started, self-teaching all these things, because I just felt like my degree was just so much textbook stuff and not enough like, here's this, go learn Nmap, or, what is, go learn packet captures and things like that. Cause that just, it wasn't a thing. It was all like cyber risk and cybersecurity, laws, and not enough
And
hands-on.
policy and well, how is that going to help me find anybody? How's that going to help me find the threat actors? How's that going to help me do my job? No, I that is so amazing. I had a very similar experience, but on the master's side. I'd already gone through an information technology degree, and I came into a master's program in the DC metro area where everything was about policy and legislation, and it was meant to be a technical kind of degree. And I was in the field and actually doing the work. So when the instructor started talking about this stuff, I'm like, why are you talking about this? Like, nobody needs to know this. What we need to do is figure out how to get into a box, how to pop a box, how to laterally move through the box, and how to do some really cool stuff once we're in the box. we don't need to know about every single piece of legislation and thing that has gotten us to this point, because we're facing this shortage right now, this absolute shortage when it comes to the cyber skills, kind of security folks. And we keep saying, companies keep saying, I need a 4-year degree in a hands-on, cybersecurity field, and I need you to have 15 certificates, and I need you to have 8 years of experience of this technology that's only existed for 2. And you're like,
and that's a junior role, by the way.
Right, that's a junior role.
Entry level
role. So, I love that Anne said this earlier, and we keep reiterating it, is that, often as women, we don't apply for jobs if we feel like we don't meet every single criteria, bullet by bullet. And that's just crazy, because the requirements that are coming out are crazy and they make no sense. So apply for the job, even if you don't think you meet every bullet, because chances are you meet more bullets than most of the other people who are trying to come and do. And I think that's super important. Remember, you're not coming into this blind. If you've gotten to this point where you see a job and you're like, "Ooh, okay, I can do that and that, but maybe not that," apply anyway. What do you have to lose? Nothing at all. So I would be super, super remiss if I didn't talk to each of you about some of the amazing things that you do as side projects. As this is important to me, and it's important to me because it's important to the community. And this is something that I love about women in cybersecurity and women in the InfoSec community, is that we're not just here for, the day job. We're not just here for the raises and the technology. We're also here to help promote the community. And it's one of the greatest things that we can do, is take the things that we've learned, take the knowledge, the technical knowledge that we have, take the path that it took us to get here, and share that with other people, whether it be via a book or via creating an entirely new group that is focused on getting Black girls and Black women into cybersecurity, whether it be about, really pushing the boundaries of legislation and policy, whatever that is. Women are uniquely passionate about community and about how we can help shape the community. So Lola, I'm going to go to you first. What are you really passionate about? Are there groups that you're passionate about? Are there, events that you're passionate about? What is it that really pushes you to try to help the community?
Last year, I was a volunteer at the Diana Initiative. There's a conference, like Tennisha knows it. It was pretty awesome, and was one of my first opportunities to volunteer at a conference. And after that, I want to do more. It was super fun to not only help, but be like, see so many people that are super interested in our field, answer their questions, make new friends. And then, like, once the conference is over, we still keep contact. Can you mentor me? Sure. And yeah, that is awesome. And I hope to do more of these as much as I can. I think a BlackGirlsHack is awesome. I knew about your organization through INE. I think you guys were at our stream a couple of weeks ago, if I am not. I wish I was more, maybe all of you, I think you do more than me. I wish I was more, I have the desire. I am not that, probably the least involved person, which I am a bit embarrassed than of you
stop.
here.
No. Do not be embarrassed, because we all started somewhere. We all started with like a job, and then we started with, okay, I learned that I want to share them, or I feel like I can help other people. It is not an overnight process. I get whatever you're doing
a lot. I reached a lot, either through LinkedIn or Twitter, by people wanting to be met of some time off my daily schedule to like, tell me, same that you're saying. Yes. Tell me about yourself. What do you want to be when you grow up? Then I can try to point you in the right direction. Yeah, that I try to do, but it's not something maybe nobody knows, done like in back the curtains. So, but
it's not about that. It's not about the recognition. And I think everybody on this panel will tell you that just what you're doing in terms of mentoring other women or mentoring other men or whomever you're mentoring is so important, because that culture of men, and we all have the ability to learn from them and to teach other people how to avoid the missteps that we had. So there is nothing that you're doing wrong. You're certainly not behind the step. Every single woman that's on this call, every single woman that's at this conference is at a different experience point in their life. And sometimes you start out with just, I have to do this and I have to learn this for myself. But in doing that, you learn so much about things that can help other young women. That's what is amazing about each of you. I just saw Jess come on.
That I feel I feel very much, because I feel that maybe others feel the same thing. The cybersecurity field is not something that we get satisfaction from only doing our 9-to-5 job and then we're gone and forget about it. I think it's like a part of belonging in a community that you want to give back. You don't forget when you were the one trying to get in.
Exactly.
How many people helped you. So if now you're in a position that you are the helper, you are the one who can help someone else, as one day a nice and kind person listened to your story, took the time to help you, you want to do the same for others. No, that's
Absolutely.
something that I think I try as much as I can, but I wish I did more. Definitely, I wish.
No, you're doing great. So I'm gonna, before Jess kicks us off, I want to get to the rest of you and have you do a real quick, what are you super passionate about, and how do you think that's really helping the community? Tennisha, this is a softball. Hit me.
So Lola was really about to have me over here crying, and I'm trying to keep myself together because, a lot of what drives her, I think, drives me as well. I want to help people, to avoid a lot of the things that mistakes that I made, to be more efficient. But then as far as what it is that I'm, outside of, Black Girls Hack, we actually just got our village accepted, Girls Hack Village, at DEF CON. So it will be coming on DEF CON 30. So I'm very excited about that. We are rolling out our Black Kids Hack program. So it's going to be focused on initially the probably 8th through 12th graders to, introduce them and expose them to cybersecurity. So I'm very excited about that. And then we're also in the process of, announcing a couple of partnerships, including INE, which is coming out, I think, probably in the next couple of weeks. So, spoiler alert. But then also we're partnering to bring up our BGH Cloud Lab. So we're going to have an ethical hacking environment that allows people to basically be able to hack in the cloud and overcome some of those issues, such as not having, a computer that works, or, being able to host multiple VMs or whatever that looks like. So I'm all about that. But I think most of all, world domination and helping other people shoot for world domination.
Yes, I love it. Okay, Sherrod, 30 seconds. And then Nicole, 30 seconds before she just cuts us off entirely. Go.
Okay, I'll go as fast as I can. I think that, for me, the number one thing I'm passionate about is from the community's, side of the house is our ET Open emerging threats, IDS rules, absolutely 100% free, released every single day. You can put them in Suricata or Snort. So you can have 100% completely free and open source network perimeter capability to detect malicious things, ingress and egress on your network. And I think that that is one of the most impressive and impactful and incredible things that I get to work on every day. I just think that Emerging Threats Open is it's just the coolest thing. It's free detection on your network for bad stuff. And it's a great place to start if you don't have any budget.
And she's totally going to post more about that on her Twitter stream. So you can totally figure out and find and access and know. Yeah. Yes. Nicole, oh my gosh, I know you have so many things you're passionate about, but tell us about how you're changing the world for young girls who want to get into threat intelligence.
Yes, hopefully. Well, I could say really quick, Lola, I do everything that I do because I struggled a whole lot starting out, and someone helped me out of the kindness of their heart and they did not need to. And I want to do the same thing and give back. So I fully understand. And as far as me, my biggest passion right now is, bridging the gap in STEM education, specifically for technology. There's so much things that, girls who hack or girls who code, and those things are great, but there's so many other niche fields in cybersecurity. And I want to bring light to all of them. And I want to make sure that, threat intelligence and women have a say in STEM education, specifically for technology. And I'm going to do that with my books. So it is going to be a series. There are going to be more books. And since I do own my own publishing company now, I can publish other authors for STEM education as well.
Oh my God, you guys, this is like, we didn't even get close to talking about all the cool things we had to talk about, but I'm so honored to have had each of you here tonight to talk about this. You're so inspiring to other people in the field, including myself, and that means a lot. And honestly, go hack some shit. For everybody who's watching, for all the women around the world who think that, it might be hard to get into cyber, it might be hard to get into AI, hack your way through. Hack it. You can do it. And all of us are here to help you all the time. Okay, Jess, please go ahead.
Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Everybody, if we can go around, they want to know how to follow you guys on Twitter. Can you tell us each your handle? Keenan, start, and then over to Lola.
Totally. So at Keenan Skelly, at KeenanSkelly. Be careful what you wish for, though.
Lola.
I am at Kureno Lola, Kureno, oh my God, KURENOLOLA, at Kureno Lola. And careful, I tweet a lot about many things.
Sherrod,
my Twitter handle is at Sherrod_IM, and it's 90% InfoSec dogs and USPS fangirl stuff.
Go Cats. Nicole.
So mine is Threat Hunter Girl, but without the I in girl. So super, super easy.
Excellent.
Girl.
Yeah.
At Miss Tennisha, MISS in my first name, and then at BlackGirlsHack.
Excellent. Ladies, you're fabulous. All a bunch of badasses. They're loving it. You've inspired so many today. Thank you for everything. Thank you for what you do on your downtime, if you will. You each serve the community in a leadership role and help to influence it for the better and bring more women into cyber. So thank you. We really appreciate it.